Good evening, everybody. This is the Hazmat Guys Nation Roundtable, where we bring interesting events from around the nation to you, and we get a little collaboration with some friends. We're joined tonight with Bob Kosh, Mike Monaco, and George Duty. What's going on?
I'm at work. George looks like he's at work. You guys are having all the fun.
No, I'm at home today, thank goodness.
We are in
you guys are
home
out
zone.
Everything out there.
Yeah, it's in Minneapolis. We finally know where it is.
Do you know where you are now?
Yeah. Yes. And we actually have people breaking our chops about us not knowing that we were coming here specifically. So, yeah, it's interesting. So far, so good. We did all our presentations today, and we're going to be coming home tomorrow afternoon. But after we check out some other classes that are around here, it's pretty good stuff. Some interesting stuff. How's everything going at home? Anybody got anything good?
Oh my goodness, having trouble sniffing the company because so many people are away doing things elsewhere. But we did have an interesting run today with it was a truck fire that turned out to be a truck full of lithium batteries that were being recycled. And it took about 3 hours, and the entire company dressed up in Tyvek and gloves and tinglies and everything to shovel the contents of this truck after it's been burned and soaked in water into about 60 or 70 bags. Stopped them from reacting and shorting out and all this other nonsense, and it was quite an operation.
Well, was there a fire?
Right underneath the train track L in Queens Plaza, so we had the exposure of the trains above, and yeah, the truck started. Actually, the fire started in the back of the truck. So there was whatever was going on was it seemed like probably the something in the batteries had shorted out, and the packaging was all destroyed. It was hard to tell what they were packed in or how they were put together, but the cab of the truck was fine. It was one of the small, probably 12 to 14 foot box trucks. And he hadn't gotten very far from where they loaded it up because they said he was only down the street on Queens Boulevard somewhere, and the whole back of the truck went up.
So how did you guys get
we spent about the better part of about 3 hours shoveling the contents of the truck right down to the floor into, like I said, about 60 or 70 garbage bags. To separate everything so that it would stop. We got to run with the squad at the same time for a truck fire involving batteries, and that was all we got. And along the way, which is a very short ride to Queens Plaza, it's only 10 minutes or so. They said that the truck's contents were recycled batteries. That was about all we had. And by the time we got there, the fire was out. But they had pulled some of the contents out on the street. And the first thing we did was to throw some pH paper into the runoff to see what that looked like. And that was kind of marginal. It wasn't anything crazy. I figured by that point.
Oh, I think we lost him.
I think we did too. He's left the room.
That sounds like you had an interesting run.
Yes. a lot of batteries, man. Well, we lost George. Yes, we did lose George. George lives in the woods. He's a hobbit. He lives way up in the woods.
He still has dial-up connection. I don't know what they're doing up there. So, anything going on with you, Josh?
Yeah, we and I think did he just come in the room? Is that Mike Polsky just came in the room there? If it is, a couple. I guess it's been about 2 weeks ago now, maybe. Mike and the guys in Manatee had a sulfur pile that was on fire. They had it basically. It started from a truck, like a dump truck, and some of that fire spread to the sulfur, and this was a mound of sulfur. And when I say a mound of sulfur, I'm going to try and I don't know how good this is going to work out for us tonight, but
Oh boy,
there is literally a mound of sulfur that these guys were dealing with.
wow!
And what was cool about it is there was little spot fires, and they were able to use their drone for a lot of the stuff that they did. And with the FLIR, I guess, integrated system that they used, they had some really cool pictures of it.
Now,
And they
where's
were
that?
That's a picture. That was a picture of the sulfur, and then the edges that were underneath that were on fire. And then when they had, he sent me another one, which of course I can't find right now. But if you hold on one second. If you go to YouTube and type in Manatee County sulfur fire, they've got a video of it, and there was a real good video of their drone that was flying overhead, looking down during the daylight, and they could see where all the little hidden pockets of fire were, which I thought was pretty cool. But the nighttime pictures really, I mean, that's to see that. You're able to see what it is and where the little hidden pockets of fire are at. I thought was pretty cool. But some of the questions came out. Well, how do you handle that kind of stuff?
That's on a thermal imaging camera, right? That's actual visible light. So that's what you would see if you were standing there.
Yeah, and they have, I guess, the drone that they have also has that FLIR system to it, so they were able to look down at the whole pile, and they had just gotten a drone. I don't know how they got it, a grant or whatever, but they had only got it probably 6 or 7 months ago, maybe, and put it to use. And that's this whole drone thing is really taking off. Matter of fact, I think a fire you guys had where it showed the roof. You guys had somebody dedicated or something to fly the drone and showed the fire actually underneath where the guys were cutting on the roof or something. You guys had somebody dedicated or
Yeah, we have I think 1 or 2 drones now, and it's good. It works pretty well, especially in hazmat. I mean, you can use it if you have the right capabilities. You have some like monitoring, metering, thermal imaging. You can get a large pan area without really being in there. So we're playing with some other operations with that. So it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is another overview that they did of the pile and all the hidden pockets. So, well, let me ask you guys a question. They had there was some discussion. They had a guy on site that was telling them to cover it up with more sulfur. And then there were some other people that were trying to help them out with saying, hey, why don't you try a little bit of foam here and there, which is actually what I think they ended up doing. But what would you guys do with a big sulfur mound like that?
I have no idea.
I can see I can see them saying put more sulfur in it because it's kind of akin to what we do with a tar box fire. Like, a lot of times the road repair crews will have that code behind propane heated tar box that they fill the joints with. And, the first reaction of the fire department is always put more water on it. Put a ton of water on it, but that makes it just angry. Makes it come come out and be vicious. So, what we try to do is we try to tell them, hey, listen, throw a little bit more of a block of the material in there, and because you put more of the product in there, it kind of eats the heat and puts it out. So maybe that's where they were going by putting more sulfur alike with alike and trying to smother it with its own piece. I don't know.
It's killing me.
Yeah,
Here, I can't.
they had they ended up having five people taken to the hospital for it as well.
Wow.
Yeah, not the firemen; these are people there.
Because it gives off some nasty stuff when it burns, right? When it gives off the sulfur dioxide.
Right. So then what Mike was telling me was that they were also doing air monitoring because of giving off that gas, which is heavier in air. They were having to do remote air monitoring all the way around to make sure that if the gases were given off, that the guys weren't standing in harm's way or any of those gases weren't shifting or blowing towards them during operation. And I tell you what, they did a good job. They ended up having another fire there not too long after that, unrelated to this. It wasn't like a rekindle or anything like that. It was just just the luck of the draw. Another fire later on. The guys thought they had. I guess what they do is they take a truck that goes through there and dumps like mist to keep the dust down and whatnot when they're working. And I don't know, they had some kind of issue later on that night after everybody left, and they had another small little fire. But yeah, they've done a heck of a job out there. I don't know if Mike's on here now, but it sounds like he will be. I'll try to get a hold of him for maybe a guest appearance on the show.
That'd be great. I'd love to talk to him about it because it's a unique thing. Why would they even store sulfur outside in that manner?
I have no idea.
You know?
It was at the port, somewhere around the port. So in South Manatee, which is over on the west coast of Florida, down by Tampa.
That's that is pretty incredible. What they end up using foam to what? To just really smother the fire?
Yeah, they ended up with foam because what it was is they had little pockets of fire, so it sounded like they used foam in several of those areas. And then the second fire, I think, is where they used the additional sulfur to absorb everything and solidify itself.
So it really just kind of it melts because it's got a pretty low melting point. It melts
Right.
melting point. That liquid is what turns it into catches fire. It's not the solid that burns; it actually turns into a liquid and then vaporizes, and then it ends up kind of hardening in that spot, right?
Right.
All right. So,
Very cool.
is he available?
I thought that was him that was on there, but I'm not sure. I thought that was him that was on there, but I'm not sure.
Right. So
Mike, if you're on, shout out.
He's popping up.
Mike, if you're on, shout out.
He's popping up. All right. We got to keep George on mute, or else he's going to feed back through the whole thing. So when he's ready to, he's not happy. He's not happy. I see an unhappy George.
The not happy George face.
It's an unhappy George face.
Awesome.
So, George, you got anything to bring up tonight? Because we can put you on, and as long as you're talking, it's good.
All right. Click your microphone and then talk.
Right. Good.
All right. There we go.
I'm not hearing him.
There we go.
Mike doesn't want to stay on. It keeps turning itself off. I don't know why.
No, we're turning you
I thought it
off.
was the headset. I switched to the earbuds, but it
I'm not
doesn't seem
hearing
to
it.
work. I don't know.
There's
Turning you off.
it's the delay. I think it's almost like we're talking outer
It
space.
doesn't like me. What can I say?
We're on a major delay. Yeah, something serious is going
You
on.
still hearing an echo or something funny?
The
Yeah.
delay, I think. It's almost like we're talking outer space.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, what were you guys teaching in Minneapolis, Milwaukee? Where were you? Where are you?
Minneapolis. We just finished up a really interesting interview that we have to investigate or actually edit up. But I don't want to give up too much. But something really kind of rocked us to our core with this guy, and we're like,
Yeah, we sat during the interview and he spewed out a number on the lethal dose of something, and I went, "Wow, that's lower than something else." And we kind of put two and two together and went, "Holy shit!" So we
Now you have me intrigued.
Yeah, at that point, we stopped the recording, and he said, I was told by the federal government not to talk about that."
wow.
Well,
Really? Once the fart's out of your ass, it's out of your ass. You know?
like, he didn't talk about it, but we figured it out on our own and went, "Holy shit!"
So if you were to weaponize or nefariously act on this stuff, you could do very large things.
So we want to just do our background check on the subject before we really give out any major information.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting, and it's something that, yeah, like Mike said, I want to edit this up. I want to make sure that it is indeed true, because it seems like, it astounded me the most that I'm in arguably one of the busiest hazmat companies in the world, and I haven't even thought of doing this. And
Wow.
if our powers to be that have been considering this, and they're keeping this under their hats, to what benefit does that do, to us, the guys that are actually going to be going in and handling this stuff? So if they're doing that, then shame on them. If they haven't thought of this yet, then shame on us, because that should be our proactive mindset, to really think like the terrorist or like the person, and get in front of them, be a step ahead.
Right. We just happen to be jerks and went, "Oh wow, we could use that."
So yeah, it was good. It was very interesting. It was a very good interview with a new friend of ours that's presenting here, and looking forward to editing that up and coming out soon. Tomorrow is the May 12th, and Chad Hawkins, a friend of ours we had an interview with, from Oregon State Fire Marshal, describes his operation with 60 tanks, rail cars, of backing crude that went on fire, and how he handled it. It was very interesting. I learned a lot.
Yeah, and how they put all that out with 10 gallons of foam.
I was like,
Really?
yeah, how?
10. So it was it was definitely a good interview.
That's going to be on the podcast?
That'll be on the podcast with Tomorrow Day. That releases tomorrow day while we're here.
Perfect.
So, yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
cool.
Other than that, what do we get? We're talking a lot with Mike. How do you pronounce his last name?
Kazam?
No, what? You know what I'm talking about. One of the Godfathers.
Oh, Mike Cowan. Mike Cowan.
There you go.
Oh, Mike Cowan. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's downstairs. He's waiting for us to come back down and tweak our ears a little bit.
He's a good speaker.
Mike, very good.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we don't want to hold you guys up from one of the Godfathers, that's for sure.
Yes. We have the
Godfather.
knowledge.
You know all about the Godfather stuff. Yeah, so we're good. We did Myths of Hazmat, which was the first time we did that class. It went over pretty good. And then we did an oxidizer lecture, which again went over pretty good. They've asked us to come back for next year. So if anybody out there is going to be in the area next year, definitely stop by and see us.
Very cool.
Good show. All right. Well, you got anything else? We're gonna make this a short one, guys.
Yeah. Nope.
So, Bob, where can they find you?
You can get me at hcmtlt@gmail.com or at Twitter. And you guys are going to be in Baltimore next month. I unfortunately will not be. I'm in the middle of selling a house and moving. I know it breaks my heart. My liver is, I think, saying thank you from but I'm sure there will be beer shots or something virtually between us.
We'll spill out a little bit for our homie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, you know where we are. We're Bob and Mike from the Hazmat Guys podcast. You can find us break down these very complex things into what a fifth grader can understand, which is very fine and friendly.
Sometimes over their heads, but every once in a while we get it.
Right. Usually alcohol is involved, and we'll just be in Baltimore. And I think the next one we really have coming up is Massachusetts, which is September. That's a good one. But finishing up in Cold Zone, this is, if you haven't come to this one and they take out of state guys, by all means, you got to come to this one. It's very well run. It's not very big, but it is one of the better I've ever seen of the smaller venues. It is very streamlined, very nice. So
Awesome.
That's it. Oh, you can
All right,
find us
guys.
on Twitter and all everything.
All right, everybody.
Awesome.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
See you next week.
See you next Thursday.